here, and the eastbound ramp is a lot better. I'm Sky Mike, the GeneratorSuperCenter.com traffic center.
A 20% chance of a shower thunderstorm, low to mid-90s this afternoon. I'm meteorologist Terry Smith from the Weather Channel.
Right now, sunny and 84 from the Generator Supercenter Weather Center at 10:31. Our top stories and breaking news in from here in Harris County. Bail for the man that has been charged with shooting and killing the 11-year-old who pranked his house playing Ding Dong Ditch over the weekend has been set at $1 million. They're waiting to see if those charges will be upgraded to capital murder, but again, the bail has been set for $1 million. Meanwhile, a federal appeals court has ruled against President Trump invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 for deportations. Trump says he will ask the U.S. Supreme Court to get involved in the ruling declaring tariffs illegal. Trump also indicating he will crack down on crime in Chicago and Baltimore. And your odds of winning the Powerball jackpot tonight, $1.3 billion, are just 1 in 292.2 million. Up next, more of the Michael Berry Show on News Radio 740 KTRH.
Hey, it's Ramon. How do you start a bidding war for your home in this housing market? Fast Track offers from Orchard, a program that flips the slow market in your favor. Let's check out Chris's story. Chris needed to sell his home fast, but didn't want to take a lowball offer from an iBuyer. So he called his Houston Orchard agent. She told him about the Fast Track offers program that creates a bidding war among buyers. With Fast Track, Orchard creates demand for your home before it goes on market. So you sell fast, often getting multiple competitive offers the first week. Because when your buyers compete, you win. It worked for Chris. Within 4 days, he sold his home for way more than iBuyer's cash offer. Yeah, the housing market may be brutally slow for everyone else, but not when you sell smarter with Orchard. My advice? If you're even thinking about selling, talk to Orchard about their Fast Track program first. Get your free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
PACLA 3981G. Mr. Morrow.
Well, hey, fella, what's got you so excited?
I just saw the fastest thing ever.
A cheetah?
No.
A race car?
Faster than that.
A rocket ship?
Oh, that would be awesome. But I saw something amazing.
You must mean...
An amazing Morrow magician technician zooming to help another Houstoner. Houstonite. Houstonian.
Houstonian will do. But you got it right, fella. When someone needs emergency help, Amazing Morrow gets there same day.
That's the fastest thing.
I should probably mention we do follow all traffic laws.
Don't be bashful, Mr. M. Helping people out when they're hot and uncomfortable is amazing.
That's how we do everything, fella. Fast, efficient, and done right. We're going to do everything we can to get your AC back to life. And if you decide it's time for a new system, we'll show you the latest
And coolest.
and amazing equipment built to save you money. Need fast service? Schedule now at AmazingMorrow.com.
On a long and lonesome highway. Harry Fisher is our guest. I don't know Harry Fisher. I read a post he put up in response to President Trump demanding that pharmaceutical companies answer questions about the dangers of the COVID shot. They called it a vaccine. It wasn't. It does not qualify as a vaccine. What did qualify as a vaccine was not shipped within the United States. It was sent abroad. The number of people who have died suddenly, just look up the term died suddenly in quotes. There are entire websites devoted to it. We've had young, healthy basketball players, 16, 17, 18 years old, dribbling the ball up the court, collapse on the spot and die. We've had journalists who were on camera at international soccer events who were the biggest proponents of it die. Joe Rogan said this week, one of the great tragedies is that the people who were advocating for it so much, young, healthy people themselves died after taking it. We've got video of people who received the shot and were hauled away immediately after receiving the shot from the shot. Now, if this was Ebola, fine. It's willing to take a risk for an upside. But we're talking about something less deadly than the common flu that we get every year. Oh, but people died, Michael. The morbidly obese and the elderly. Those are comorbidities that make it far more likely you'll die. young, healthy people didn't die. My 54-year-old, relatively healthy brother would not have died. Teenagers, college kids, young people, athletes, doctors, runners, people in good shape. This thing was dangerous, and it killed a lot of people. And the worst part about that is how many people don't want to admit that. Not because they got rich off of it because they work for Pfizer, but because they're embarrassed. Or because they played a part in approving it. The truth has to get out. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. Harry Fisher, let me first say, I think it's cool you're a paramedic. I think that is up there with being a preacher or a teacher or a cop. I think, you know, the idea, I mean, I'm from a selfish perspective, you're helping people. It's got to be cool to feel like, you know, you're responding and helping people. And when you get to walk away from someone and changing, you know, their condition, that has to be a high.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's definitely a calling. You don't get into being an EMT or paramedic for money. That's one of the first things you learn in school. I think one of the first things I remember my instructor telling me many years ago is if you want to be a millionaire, you're in the wrong business. But we do it because we like to help people. I agree.
Would you do it over again?
It's 100%. I wouldn't do anything different. There's a few things that during this time I would have done differently. Like the lady that died, and I couldn't save that in that Pfizer line after she just took her shot. Whenever I looked over my shoulder and saw a bunch of people just standing there like cattle, I would have maybe screamed at them. I know it probably wouldn't have changed anything, but I've thought about that over and over again. Like, could I have told them, hey, she just took this substance and she's dead. Get out of line. Please get out of the line. Maybe I would have done something like that, try to help more, but since then I've experienced so many people that only better way I can say it is brainwashing. People that have been abused so bad by a system telling them to fear, that they've been abused into this brainwashed state where they'll do anything that big Pfizer, big Pharma, big Moderna tells them to do through their favorite politician. They will do whatever they're told because they've been abused. I liken it to people that have been molested, because whenever you run to someone who's been abused or molested, they don't want to, well, typically they don't want to blame their abuser or even talk about their abuser. They want to pretend like it never happened. Mm-hmm. Well, our society has been so molested and abused at this point, they want to just sweep it under the rug. It's sickening.
The fear was the critical component. You had to have people so afraid that in that fear, they would do irrational things. I've studied successful prank calls. And one of the things successful prank callers did was you create a crisis. Now there are these spam callers that are basically a prank caller for profit, where they get people to give their information, or they're going to cut off your electricity, or, you know, your kid's a hostage or whatever. You create a situation where someone's on their heels and frightened, and they do things they would never otherwise do. They're not methodical and measured in their answers. The fear was the most important part of COVID. And that is why when they start preaching fear, everyone should have their hackles up and say, wait a second, why is it so important that they frighten me? And there will always be those people. But you know what's amazing to me, Harry, is how many people have said to me, man, I hate that I got the shot. I would never do that again. To which I always respond, yes, you will. No, not knowing what I know now. The point is, you had to make that decision knowing what you knew then. And you're a person who, out of complete fear, will always jump in and throw caution to the wind and good judgment to the wind, because you will give in to fear. And people that will do that will always do that. There will be another COVID. There will be more COVIDs. They'll come in different ways, but there will be turning on your friend to help the Nazis. There will be turning in the lady next door as the Salem witch. There will be more. This is endemic to the human condition. Harry Fisher, I'm grateful for you. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your perspective. And I'm glad to know that, God forbid, at some point there'll be a call that I'll need an EMT, and I hope you're the guy on the other end of the line.
Well, I appreciate you, sir, and I'll be praying for you and your family. And I appreciate your prayers as well.
You bet. 10 has the story politicians, political groups, and parties are the biggest offenders. A new law that just took effect in Texas on September 1st is designed to stop spam text messages.
You know how it feels? You're in the middle of something and there it is. Boom! That random text message from a number you just don't recognize. And there's the sales pitch you never saw coming. Well, yep, we've all been there. And there is good news now for Texas. It's called Senate Bill 140. And it took effect this week. It officially expands the definition of telephone solicitation to include text messages or anything designed to persuade you to buy, rent, or claim a product or service. So now, before business can solicit you by text, they must do a few things, and here they are. Jot them down. Okay, so they have got to register with the state first. They have got to get written consent from you, and they've got to provide an easy option out, like send you the word stop or you can reply, so they can stop texting you immediately, and they have to observe quiet hours. Now, for consumers, the law closes a major loophole, because until now, companies could argue that texts were in phone calls and avoid the rules. Well, SB 140 shuts that down, giving Texans new protections. You can opt out by simply replying with stop. You can report that business to the AG's office, and guess what? Now, you can directly sue them. So, if you start getting the sales pitches by text that you never agreed to, you can do something now to make them stop.